Howdy, 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 and welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel.
Hello.
And welcome back to Sci-Fi Sundays. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good.
Good. Good. I guess we don't necessarily have a whole lot to talk about today, but the one thing that we do have specifically to talk about is fresh and new and actually kind of nice. I've compared it a little bit. I've kind of preemptively compared it to, it's got a dash. I wouldn't necessarily call it the answer to the live action Rick and Morty, but does it feel like it is in a similar vein? I know, I guess you're not necessarily a huge Rick and Morty person, but does it feel like it fits that sci-fi comedy vein that maybe like the Orville and Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites and stuff like that or try to hit on? Do you think this is kind of, okay, this is Apple's version, Apple's turn?
Yeah, I think I like the humor of it. I like that kind of, the snarkiness of the robot, of Murderbot. And anyway, well, my husband saw the thumbnail and he said he could see the Rick and Morty comparison.
Okay.
I don't know enough. He watched the show. I didn't, but he said he could get that. So to just go with that. But no, I love like the humor of it. And it's like just the right amount. It's not like ridiculous. It's just I'm really liking it a lot.
That was literally my next question. First, howdy, David. Peter did say, I've actually watched the show for once, which is great. He said he loved it, just wish it was longer. Yeah, that was what my thought process was. Because you just finished watching both episodes, right? And I think I just watched the second episode this morning, the first one last night. They're both 25 minutes. If every episode's like that 25, 30-minute range, it does kind of appeal to the live-action Rick and Morty kind of niche of sci-fi folk. Would you prefer it? Would you have rather both those episodes stitched together into one episode, or are you okay with it as two episodes and then a little slow of a start? Or would you rather have that, like, okay, let's jump in and actually get into this and then give me like little half-hour episodes for fun? But if you're going to drop both, do them all at once kind of deal.
It's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I'm kind of fine with it either way, because when you're watching them back to back, it's almost like you are watching one episode. Anyway, so I like that they released the first two together and not just do the one at a time.
I don't think I'd tune in next week necessarily. I don't know if I would tune in next week if it was only one episode dropped.
Right.
But again, like I don't necessarily think it needed to be an hour long. It just it felt, I don't know if the pacing was even off. I think it was purposeful, but it was it wasn't even a slow pacing. It was a lot of things happening pretty quickly. It just felt like a crawl, versus like, okay, we're usually, we get into a new series and we're used to having that like big zany action sequence almost that opens things up, and then you get introduced to the character kind of by the end of the sequence and so on and so forth. That didn't really happen, which was kind of nice. But it's a pacing thing, I think, where
I could see that.
I feel like just
it was a short enough episode. It didn't bother me too much, so I think that worked in its advantage that way.
That's okay. That's true. I watched it with two roommates last night, and we were all enjoying it. But I did see a lot of phones kind of keep popping up, so I was kind of like, "Is the slow pacing not necessarily?" I love it, of course. I'm a slow pacing kind of person, but the TikTokification of things, as we like to say sometimes, I think it might keep maybe a younger audience from jumping on it. And I guess it is already a set of novels.
Yeah, there's like 7 books. My husband listened to them, and now I want to, that I've watched this show. I'm probably going to dive into that. But yeah, I liked I think Alexander Skarsgård did a good job with it. I like it. I like the way the voice he's kind of given
Hmm.
to the robot. I like and his attitude of like humans are effing stupid and like
It's like they're not going to bring me on this mission
yeah
again.
yeah
We've only been on 2 so far. Come on.
yeah. So I think you're kind of you're a lot in his head, of what he's thinking and how he's viewing and seeing things. And maybe that's what makes it feel a little slower because they're just trying to really give you a feel of like kind of who he is, I think.
Yes, I'm with you, and that made me think of something as well, which I think is kind of very Rick and Morty like. I think that they're kind of leaning into.
Hmm.
How do you feel? Yes, P.S. Spoiler cast. This will be some spoilers probably.
Yeah, the banner.
Do you, honestly, let me go ahead and toss spoilers up there. We
Yeah.
all know how to say howdy. With that thought process, do you like the almost interdimensional cable for a Rick and Morty term that we're getting there, where we're going inside of his brain and getting the different TV shows? Do you
I
think
like
that's
that.
a distraction, or do you think that's fun?
I think that's fun. I like it. The stupid, future space soap opera or whatever he likes. I think is funny.
The John Cho just immediately
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is Cowboy Bebop 2 or something like that,
Yeah. Mhm.
I never remember the actor. The really funny dude that was also in the John Cho sketch before Clark Gregg popped around and turned around. The
Oh,
guy
right.
from all the AT&T commercials or whatever, all that stuff. That's just funny.
Right. Mhm.
The Seth Rogen one in episode 2 is really good too, though. That kind of cracked me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, chat. What do y'all feel about that? Is that distracting? Is it fun? Does it feel like live action Rick and Morty? Is this the answer to it to some degree? Let me know when spoilers are over. Not watched Murderbot yet.
Yeah.
Well, we will. I don't know. I was trying to find a good a little
Is there a lot
alliteration.
to spoil, really? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you know what the concept is, I guess if you don't even know what the thing is, like
Yeah,
how he
honestly,
thinks that
David, I think you'd
uh,
be okay. Just because literally at the end of episode 2 is like the first inkling of actual plot outside of like characterization stuff.
right.
Which honestly, that might be something that makes it feel a little bit slow. We actually just hit our first plot point outside of, okay, Murderbot is now a scientist, because that's, I guess, the only plot point we got up until the minor plot point. The B plot is, okay, now the scientists are slowly figuring out that maybe this robot's got a little sentience,
Yeah.
and that's all in the trailer. So it's not like
Right.
it's really spoiling anything. I feel like these 2 episodes were very much trailer heavy.
Yeah.
Heard of it, and by the time I do watch it, I'll forgotten what was said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be something that
Mhm.
episode 3, I think, is where the spoilers, if I had to guess, are going to come popping up.
Right. Yeah.
Because that is a really sci-fi
Mhm.
something. I don't know what it's going to end up being. I obviously haven't read the little novels and novellas, whatever they are, but
Hmm. Yeah.
I guess jumping into the spoiler territory just a little bit for the end of episode 2. So watch out, David, real quick. So we can get the spoiler thing out of the way. What do you think that is? I haven't looked it up. I haven't searched anything. Just from I guess our little sci-fi brains. Do you think it's like a time dilation or anomaly of some sort, or
Oh, that kind of weird force field looking thing. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be because they were speculating that it was like alien tech that was left behind or something like that. My first thought was it was just some weird anomaly that planet has, but it could be, who knows, It'll be interesting. I mean, I'm kind of interested into what that is, but I don't know if that's going to be just kind of a background thing or are they going to, I mean, I kind of like the group that he's with are sort of like hippy dippy types or whatever, like just like they're just very chill. They're the right people for him to be with, because at some point they're going to figure it out. I think the
Yeah.
trailers even kind of show that.
Well, I think someone mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh no. Oh, there it is. Literally what you're saying right there. Like, if anyone's going to find it out, he's going to find it out quickly. And old Das Malchin is good at playing little zany, odd characters. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. And he did, the way he like talked to him made it think that he was like going there or whatever. And it's like, okay, what's going to happen with this? Okay. It'd be interesting to see.
I love the he still seems robotic to a degree, but you can just see how uncomfortable the robot is at the same time. Murderbot is. I like the not stoicness, like almost more of like he's robotic. He still has that like staunchness that a robot may have, but he's very much seeping through the cracks, which I like to see already. You know,
yeah,
it's not.
Like, they know, they're figuring it out. Like, it's funny. Yeah.
We haven't watched much of the series, but I would like to see Murderbot meet Evan Rachel Wood's Westworld character at some point. You know, like just the two comparisons, real quick.
Yeah,
like it's interesting so far.
Yeah, and you get flashes of like something, like something bad happened before, but we don't know exactly what it is yet.
And if it's bad enough to take out all those killer like baby dune worms, that's two-headed worm. Ugh, that was I really like that scene. That was like, fun stuff. But like, ooh.
Two-headed centipedes.
yeah. There we go. That's
yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna make human centipede jokes, and I'm just gonna leave that thought process to the side and run away from it as far and as fast as I can. Robot trauma, it's a thing, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting way to bring up, the whole thing of like, is artificial intelligence like sentient beings that should have, they're not property, they're, and it seems like that group he's with leans towards their being
that hippy dippy kind of life is life, man, kind of I like it. It's because they're all scientists as well, which is I like I like when sci-fi does that, and it doesn't separate like, oh well, hippies are all pseudoscience people over here that don't want this, and then well, scientists don't like anything hippie. I'm like, no. Give me the Val Kilmer and Island of Dr. Moreau. Obviously, not that whole movie, but like, give me there's scientists that are in jungles, scientists in the middle of some winter kind of place, whatever, like people are people. They like to explore, they like to do crazy things, and they like to learn, I like that the hippie people are also like scientists at the same time. So, okay, we're going to piece things together and find out what we need to find out.
Right, yeah.
But you all right, man? Kind of like they also have that,
Yeah, I liked how at the beginning they all like held hands and did that like prayer or whatever that was funny.
That tripped me out. I was sitting there. I was like, "Is that real?" I feel like I've seen someone do that in LA before. Like I feel like I've seen this like little like group go kumbaya and then just like sit back for a second. Like,
that's funny.
So odd, but it felt like I guess just living in LA, it felt like I've seen something like that at the same time. Which. It definitely came across hippie because that could come off as like religious as well, but it didn't feel like they were in like some prayer circle. It felt like a little hippie commune for half a second, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were at first. I'm like, oh, they're scientists, but I thought it was just like some hippie commune group that was going to live on somewhere else or whatever. But anyway,
hippie scientist commune thing.
I like it.
Noma is great as the leader. All the cast seem great. Is that the actress's name? Because Mensa is the character, right? Because I like the name Mensa.
Yeah. Mhm.
I noticed that every time they say Mensa, I just think of Shepherd. Which is great.
Yeah, I think of that, like the group or whatever. I wonder if that's intentional. I don't know. Anyway,
I bet. I
yeah.
mean, Martha Wells is the author, the original author's name, who I believe is.
Mhm.
I think I read that she's a heavy either co-executive producer or executive producer on the show itself. So that's really cool.
Mhm.
I like when shows or series projects in general are pertinent about bringing the author, like the original author, on, so on and so forth. I think that Percy Jackson series could have been just a little bit better, but it had like inklings of the actual story at hand versus, okay, this is a Hollywoodification of it. It
Mhm.
was nice to feel that Rick Riordan there.
Mhm.
I haven't read the Murderbot stuff, but it doesn't feel like Hollywood BS at the same time. It's
Right.
obviously got like a sheen to it. It's an
Mhm.
Apple product, whatever, but
Mhm.
so far it's nice.
Yeah, everything's shot really well. It looks good. The opening credits thing is cool too, if you watched it. I
uh,
think that
uh,
was really cool also. It's like the little I mean, I'm sure it's all like, computer generated or whatever, but they look like the little like action figure dolls or whatever. That's really cool.
I didn't pay enough attention
Uh,
to it. Literally,
mhm,
I
mhm,
knew I didn't have like a whole bunch of time to do
yeah,
things. So as it was
mhm,
on, I was like running around the house, but I will pay attention to it
mhm,
this coming week because
mhm.
I know Severance is supposed to have a really good opening. Studio has a good simple opening. Apple, I think Peter also said it earlier. Apple is absolutely killing it in a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
yeah, there.
From
Mhm.
Bender, that's kind
I can see that. Just give him a cigar.
of yeah. Murderbot with a cigar.
Mhm,
You mentioned how well everything was shot.
mhm.
For how bland the
Mhm.
coloration of everything actually
Right.
is, it looks pretty damn good. Like
Mhm.
everything's, it's on a desert planet, so it's all
Mhm.
deserty. We're used to
Mhm.
those with sci-fi. Surprise in
Right.
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
exactly.
you know, uh,
Yeah.
but the worms look good. Even I guess his suit's just a white and black suit. It's just like a yin and
Right.
yang kind of looking suit in a way.
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of like vibrant colors coming at you every way. It's not even
Mm-mm.
warms or soft colors coming at you anyway. It's just
No.
we're in
It's
a
like
desert,
all shades of white and tan and with orange. That's it.
and
That's
it
about it.
still looks good.
Mhm.
Like Star Wars at least gives
Mhm.
itself like, hey, let me turn it blue over here. Arrakis and Dune, you're like, okay, well, we've got these Fremen suits and all these other crazy things going on
Mhm.
that are
Mhm.
totally off world.
Mhm.
It's still, it feels like its own thing, which I like a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
hmm I think that was to emphasize the in show soap operas. Oh, that's a great point.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Oh,
those were like really bright colors and all that craziness. Yeah.
I love the little AI conversation going on too. Sanctuary Moon
That was
was
the name of the show. Yeah.
very saturated.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I like those. I'm a
Mhm.
fan of it so far. I
Mhm.
guess I really want to read the novels now or the novellas, all the
Yes, so
above.
do I. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who, mhm.
D-
Uh-oh.
d- does that make you want to read them prior to finishing the series or after watching the first?
Um, it's kind of hard to say because then, like, I'll read the books and then I'll just be comparing, which is gonna be kinda like but then how long I mean, how many seasons of how long would it be till I could actually get to the books then? I don't know. Or I'll have to just shut that part of my brain off when I watch the show, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I don't know. I
Mhm,
guess how many novellas they cover per episode, and how I don't know exactly how that works because it's supposed to
mhm.
be a decent little series, I believe. Let's see how many.
Yeah, I've
Seven
heard
books.
yeah, 7 books. Mhm.
That was a trial from the future.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of it so far. This has tickled the part of me that has not been able to watch Andor this week. I've been wanting to watch Andor so bad and catch up and actually finish the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, okay, this is quick. Let's just do it. It's not like a commitment to sit down real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. The Altered Carbon books.
Yeah, no, I think I started. Actually, though, now that I answered that, I think I listened. I don't think I listened to it all the way through. I started listening to like the audiobook of the first one, but I didn't finish it. I should go back into because I was just thinking I used to listen to like books like all the time, and I kind of got off of doing that. I need to get back into listening to some books.
Love a good audiobook, especially with these voice acting classes. I'd like to be in them, but we're working on that.
Oh yeah, you could, yeah.
I don't know, I guess outside of Murderbot and Andor, the next big thing, the two things I'm thinking about sci-fi wise that are on the horizon, as they would say, and not Kevin Costner's horizon, because that's not probably happening anytime soon. Lilo and Stitch and Predator Killer of Killers are both like right here, and I think those are going to be our big sci-fi like chunks for the summer until we get Alien Earth at the end, and then we have Murderbot to hold us over as well. And Rick and Morty comes back real soon, doesn't it? Speaking of the devil. Yeah, May 25th. That's next week. So we get Murderbot and Rick and Morty. Ooh. Yeah, spoilers are over. I think. Just kidding. Now tell us exactly what you feel about every little detail of both episodes.
All right, let's change the banner.
Oh, good point. Yeah, outside of that, what's everybody thinking about? Rick and Morty? Woohoo! I'm pumped. It's going to be nice to have roommates to actually watch Rick and Morty with again. I've been watching Rick and Morty by myself for the last 4 years now. It'll be fun. Get the crew together. I thought you were talking about Murderbot there for a second. That's the
I think Altered Carbon. That's what I'm saying.
I did see Mark in here earlier. Let me see where he popped in here.
Doctor Who. I have not watched any new. I mean, I watched the Doctor Who episodes. The specials they did when they brought David Tennant back, and like I've watched those, but I have not watched the full seasons of the show yet. So, because I keep, I'm like, do I want to? I don't know. Yeah. I probably should, just because that's my job now.
It's so back and forth with Doctor Who. I'm glad Mark's actually like our finger on the pulse for it, because he's saying we have to talk about Doctor Who this season as the running. This is in the running for best season ever. Oh wow, that's saying a lot. This is season 43. The last 5 episodes in a row have been absolutely effing bangers. 4 10 out of 10. Interesting.
I have to catch up.
The first season with Matt Smith was the best. Yeah. Chat, what are y'all feeling on anybody actually caught up? I respectfully disagree. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. I was about to say, because I know Mark is our resident Whovian who loves some Doctor Who. So, the same way I look at Star Wars, there can kind of be a rosy tinted glasses at times, as we like to say. So I'm interested. Chat, if y'all have caught up or checked out any of the new recent season, what do y'all think about Doctor Who? What do you think about Murderbot as well? I know Peter was enjoying Murderbot. Anybody else been able to check it out? Because that's those are our sci-fi heavy hitters right now, which is kind of fun. I want Foundation to come back. So
I gotta catch up on that too. Probably that season comes out later this year. The 3rd season of it. Maybe. I guess we can look that. Like, if only there was some way we could figure that
out. Not far away. July 11th. Honestly, that's going to get us weekly episodes until September 12th. Okay, so that's a solid summer site. Yeah. Ooh.
Seems like there's a lot of, like, when I went to see Thunderbolts, there was a lot of trailers for some good sci-fi looking movies, like Predator. Well, Alien Earth is television, but what else was there? There's some other stuff coming out too. I'll have to look it up. The last Mission Impossible movie. That's not really.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
that's
I guess
coming out
it's,
like next week or something too, I think.
yeah, that's next this coming week.
Yeah.
Which I guess is Lilo and Stitch this coming week too. That's
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
23rd. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I was like, I've got to see the Predator movie. I got to see. There's some other sci-fi movies stuff coming out this year too, and I'm like totally drawing a blank on what it is. Anyway.
Well, yeah, I literally was just in the theater watching Fight or Flight the other day. That's what I've watched this week. If we want to do that real quick, Fight or Flight was not a very quality movie. Oh damn, it was a lot of fun. It was take the generic plot and just have a good time with it, and it was a good one. But like you're saying, I feel like I have seen a few sci-fi things. Obviously, there's the Karate Kid, Ballerina, and everything like that coming out here soon. How to Train Your Dragon. Oh, well, we do have Jurassic World on the way, which is going to be.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. I think I got to get caught. I mean, geez, there's so much. Anyway, I haven't watched all the newer Jurassic movies. I've only seen like the first one of those. So I
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you like the first one?
It was okay. I mean, it was kind of fun, but it was sort of like, I don't know. I was meh about it, I guess, because it just is like, but maybe they were trying, it was kind of like, there were things that were familiar about it, the like driving hamster balls were kind of cool.
Just getting nudged by big old T-Rexes everywhere. Like, oh, if I had the opportunity, I would drive in the hamster balls nonetheless, though, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing about me, but I'm trying it.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? I'm with you that it's meh. I think all three are meh, ultimately, but I think they're the better end of meh. But I like the science in the first two movies, at least. Like, I hate to say, like, the acting and everything else, like, takes a second seat for me, and like the actual like concepts that they actually put forth and all that. But it does. I like the science of both. The second movie is the most boring, and it's the least popcorn flick kind of out of the three.
Right.
But I do think it's the best of the three.
Okay.
It is definitely slower though.
The third one is where they bring back Sam Neill and stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not as bad like Rise of Skywalker, not as bad as I expected. But after the more I think about it, the less I'm like, yeah, I don't feel the need to watch that again.
Right.
It's like it's out there, it's good.
The trailers kind of felt like it was like, okay, let's fan service Jurassic Park. But I haven't seen the movie to like say, but I just had that feel.
That was the prime directive for that movie. They could feel like that. They're easy watch movies, definitely. But they're also really good whenever, like, even the Lost World and the little smaller Jurassic Park series and everything that ties into it. They all at least have good like sci-fi concepts, that bring stuff into it.
Right. It's kind of, it's a monster movie, basically, right?
We've compared it to like zombie movies and stuff like that in the past, where we go to a zombie movie to see some zombies do some zombie things. We go to vampire movies. That's my single complaint with Sinners. Sinners, have you seen Sinners yet?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But again, I just want to see the vampires do the vampire stuff. I love the implications. I love the implications, but I want to. I paid my money to see the vampires do the vampire stuff. If you're gonna make a $90 million film, make a $90 million film. I just looked over Peter saying I would have the dinosaurs ate the stowaway girl over there. Well, shoot. Shoot. But yeah, no, I feel like if anything, talking about putting money where it needs to go, Jurassic Park is that whole franchise has been particularly good about that, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's the popcorn, or at least they try to be. It's popcorn flicks. Yeah.
Nope. I'm just trying to fix the lighting in here.
It's fine.
Oh, is that the girl from Skeleton Crew? Oh, I didn't realize that. Any thoughts of the last from Skeleton Crew getting the Buffy gig as the new Slayer? That's the girl that played Fern, right? Fern was like Captain Fern, right? That was the main girl in there. Both the girls in Skeleton Crew were great.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it definitely wasn't the little girl that played KB, I think was the character's name, with a little visor. That was,
right. Yeah, that was like her best friend or whatever. But yeah,
cool character though. I do. Skeleton Crew is not going to get a season 2. It wouldn't make sense to get a season 2. I want this season 2.
It was a fun show. I mean, I liked it, But anyway, I just think not enough people watched it, and everybody was complaining about the Goonies thing. But I liked that it was kind of like Goonies. Maybe it was just because it was being nostalgic for me, because I, was a kid when Goonies was.
Yeah, like it just.
Yeah, I was a teenager. I have to look up what year it is. But anyway.
Can we have Star Wars be Andor and Skeleton Crew now, and then the rest just be the animation aspect of it? Like,
mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they'll
for that one. It's like
hopefully, like if Andor's hopefully they look at Andor and think, okay, we need to go more that route, do some adult, and then just do, if you're gonna do kid stuff, just do, if you want to make it for kids, do it like the animated or like a Skeleton Crew kind of thing, where you just kind of make it fun, where it has kids will like it, but there's things for adults in there too.
Yeah, I mean, because we always talk about it, Star Wars might have been made for 12-year-old boys, like George Lucas always says.
Mm-hmm.
It has also had beheadings, hands being cut off, like people getting stabbed, shot up, and all these different things.
Yeah.
Leia being sold into slavery.
Exactly.
People that are in slavery for specific types of slavery already under Jabba the Hutt being shoved into pits and eaten by monsters. It's not necessarily a children-friendly series in a lot of ways. And that's one of the things I appreciate about Andor. Andor's like, hey, all this stuff is happening. We're just letting it have the weight that the life deserves sometimes, which I love, the zany, fun Force kids, woo, but also take a step back and hey, like the Mon Mothma line that I guess all of these Andor and Rogue One series are based off of is like, a lot of Bothans died for this, and that's the second Death Star. But same thing, a lot of people died for the first Death Star, and we just watched that. Or I guess need to finish it. Oops.
Well, I haven't watched. I got to watch the final 3 episodes yet. I haven't.
Everyone just says they're so good.
I know. I keep seeing like the thumbnails for because I've watched people reviewing it and stuff like that, reacting to it, whatever. So I'm like,
Bix, I just keep seeing Bix everywhere, and I'm like, I don't know what Bix does or what happens or like what she does to help Andor's story or Cassian's story, whatever. But I'm so ready, and I haven't seen K2SO yet. I haven't gotten to the part where we get K2SO back, and I want Alan Tudyk back and everything. I guess except maybe Superman, because Jamie said Alan Tudyk actually isn't great in Superman, so I'm actually kind of frightened about that.
What was it? I don't remember him in Superman.
He's the robot that gets all cut up and stuff where you see it in the trailer, I guess both of the trailers. The first one where Superman's holding on to like the half of a robot, and then this trailer we watch, I guess Lex Luthor come in there with his girl with the little blades come in there.
Anyway,
yeah.
Whatever. He's not good at that. Yeah.
Well,
but we got to do anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you still excited about Superman? After Jamie was talking about it the other day, my excitement levels have significantly dropped, especially after that trailer.
I've never been excited about the new Superman movie. It didn't.
Okay.
It doesn't grab me. I mean, I'll watch it. That's probably. That's one of the movies. I mean, I'll probably go to the theater and see it because we'll want to talk about it. So I'll probably try to make it to the theater and watch it. But I'm not really like thrilled about going to see it. Like normally, I probably would have just waited for it to show up on whatever streaming service is going to end up on. I don't even know.
It should
Probably
be.
Warner
I guess
Brothers?
it's
Like Max.
HBO Max again. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. So anyway, but I'll go to the theater and see it so I can talk about it. But yeah, not really excited about it.
I'm very much intrigued. Would not have guessed that. No, I wouldn't have guessed it either. I would have thought you'd have just like a general excitement, but I'm kind of with you. Like the trailers look good. And whenever I watch the trailer, it does kind of either one of those trailers, it does kind of reinvigorate me to like, okay, all right, now I feel a little inspired. Right. And about half an hour later, I'm
yeah. It just feels a lot like the stuff I've seen. I don't think I've seen the latest trailers. I probably should go back and watch those. But it feels like there's nothing I haven't seen in a superhero movie before. It just seems like, oh, here's another superhero movie where they're going to have fancy CGI, whatever things happen in slow motion. And it's like, okay, boring, But
we've seen the stadium scenes with multiple Supermen. We've seen Zachary Levi fight a kaiju as Shazam, Superman adjacent, within the last 4 years. Right. And that's not even the same like general franchise. I don't know. I'm struggling to find the excitement for it. And then after we were let in, I guess, from Jay that the news angle of the whole thing is like Superman's going to be canceled and all that kind of stuff in that. And you can definitely see that in the new trailer too. Like the whole first minute of the trailer is going to be
like throwing stuff at him or something.
Well, that is as well. And in the new trailer, I don't know if you've seen this one because it came out 3 days ago, something like that. It starts out with Lois Lane like mock interviewing Superman, and him getting very frustrated at the questions she's kind of giving in just the mock interview, in like their home, and it definitely alludes to I think our old Clark Kent, not Clark Kent, of course, but Superman himself is going to get canceled, and I get it. It's something that is pertinent and prominent to today. Well, I don't think it's pertinent or prominent to today. It was pertinent or prominent 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe, but it feels like we've seen this before, and we haven't even seen that in the Superman movie.
Oh, did we lose you? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know what you guys are seeing. Are you seeing me? Oh, there we go. Oh. Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. Are we back?
You're freezing, but I mean, from my end, I seem fine, and you're freezing. But I don't know what our viewer, view. Oh, it's Harris.
Okay, it's me.
Yeah.
Damn, my new Wi-Fi is supposed to be the fanciest Wi-Fi I can get. Shoot. Yeah, for me, it was everybody freezing. It looked like it just took both of us out for a second, and then one of us popped back in, one of us popped back out for a second.
I wasn't sure. it seemed like I was fine, but I don't know if that's what everybody else was seeing. But anyway.
Yeah, it totally, I think, just looks weird because, I'm set up for like starting the stream and everything. So it's like, can you still operate? Maybe. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Hey now. Shh, don't let people know. Don't let people know. We missed Skype. What were we just talking about before we jumped out again?
We were talking about the Superman thing in the cancel culture, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, that idea is dated, and it's just, it's just frustrating. It's like, why can't DC get it right? For movies, anyway, they did great with television. The whole Arrowverse thing was awesome. But, not towards the end, maybe not everything about Arrowverse was great towards the later years, but overall, Arrowverse was really good.
And at least they found a good way to end it with like Crisis on Infinite Earths and all that,
Right?
I don't know how else to describe it. Does this new Superman movie almost just feel like an eye roll to you? Because that's what it feels like. And the only thing that's felt more like an eye roll than I still haven't watched the trailer. I don't know if I even want to watch the trailer. I feel like just because we talk about all this, I'm going to have to watch the show. I did watch season 1. I am not excited about season 2 of Peacemaker. Did you watch season 1 of Peacemaker at all?
Peacemaker. Why am I not remembering this?
The John Cena show. John Cena with the silver.
No, I haven't watched it because I'm not a real big the Suicide Squad thing or whatever. He was Suicide Squad, right? Or no?
It was. Okay, it's from Suicide.
I wasn't really a big fan of that, so no, I haven't watched it, and I won't probably. I'm not a John Cena's. Not I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but.
See, I don't mind John Cena. Peacemaker season 1. This is where Monk and I will sadly disagree here. No, I'm not a James. I wrong. I love James Gunn things. The only things I do not like by James Gunn are, I guess, the most recent, typically. And I love Guardians 3. Guardians 3 was awesome. He's gotten very lazy. He's gotten arrogant in a lot of ways, and not arrogant. I don't think that's necessarily the right way of saying it. It's not a polite way of saying it either, but it feels like the way he responds to people online, the way he talks to people. He's not necessarily very concerned with writing what he needs to write a lot of times. And he gets pissed at people online and tends to put that into the movies he's writing currently or the projects he's writing currently. Suicide Squad, I thought was trash. Peacemaker, I thought was trash. And I love everything else James Gunn. Like, give me Slither, Super, give me a little Scooby-Doo. I grew up on the Scooby-Doo movies he wrote, I love James Gunn, but he's fear James Gunn developing George Lucas disease. I think so. Got too big of boots. Got too big for his boots, has he? In a way, and I don't necessarily like that. You're right. We'll have to disagree to agree to disagree here. Yeah. You'll hate it, Monk, but it just felt contrived. Everything he's written recently outside of Guardians 3 has felt very, very, very contrived in the sense of, Sucker Punch was the only film I didn't like. That's Zack Snyder, and that makes me go everywhere. Because I love some Snyder films too.
That was was that movie was really high on the CGI, right? Wasn't it sort of like? It made me think of Sky Captain. I think I've seen just clips of Sucker Punch. I don't think I watched it. That came out in the 2000s or something,
2008, I think. It's either somewhere right around. It might be 2010 or 2011. I think it was right after he did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Watchmen.
Oh, right.
Very different things.
Yeah, I like that Watchmen movie. That was kind of before.
Love that Watchmen
superhero thing really, really took off. But yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Sucker Punch is Zack Snyder's only in like original film outside of Rebel Moon.
Do we want to mention that anyway?
No, no. But Watchmen was awesome, and of course,
Yeah.
to bring it back to
Mhm.
James Gunn, Snyder directed a James Gunn written Dawn of the Dead, or excuse me, do I have that back? No, yeah, Snyder directed James Gunn written Dawn of the Dead remake, which was awesome, awesome,
Mhm.
2004, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, agreed, popcorn.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, we haven't seen James Gunn's completed Superman movie. We can't judge it yet,
Right.
only speculate. But
Yeah.
aesthetically, it does look good and consistent.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks
Yeah.
great.
It's just
Wow.
unoriginal.
It
Doesn't
just seems like
yeah.
it. You know?
It just doesn't seem anything original or intriguing about it. It's just like, okay, it's another Superman movie. I mean, it looks good. The effects look like they're good. I'm sure maybe the actors and stuff do a good job or what, or at least, good enough or whatever, but it's like, show me something I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subvert those expectations and at
Mhm.
least intrigue me enough to make me believe that I'm going to have expectations
Mhm.
subverted to some degree. Because in those
Yeah.
trailers, it's too
Mhm.
much of the film in the trailers. I actually
Yeah.
think we're really only getting the
Yeah.
first act, honestly. But I
Right.
think we can piece together
Probably.
the film pretty easily
Mhm.
through those trailers. And
Right.
that is because they've shown us just enough of later on. Like we see Metamorpho in the trailer behind bars, which means Lex Luthor totally takes over and mind controls him at some point, or finds a way to,
Mhm.
blackmail him into doing something like that. It's just, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. But I guess to finish off that James Gunn thought, because I'll get
Mhm.
distracted. Surprise. Monk was saying, I thought Gunn's version of Suicide Squad had a lot of heart. Ratcatcher 2's story was great. The way he was able to bring humor to things, it was so fun. I saw it in theaters twice. I saw it in theaters, I think maybe twice. I think once for sure.
Mhm.
The Ratcatcher stuff was the best. And, he can add humor. He's great at adding humor into things.
Mhm.
But he takes away, I think Ratcatcher was the only one that actually had like an actual film worth of good moments, good emotional moments. Everybody else had quips. And then they
Mhm.
would have maybe each character might have had one really good moment in the movie, which,
Mhm.
I get. But
Mhm.
also, we've seen him write 3 excellent Guardians films.
Yeah.
We've seen him write Scooby Doo pretty damn well back in the day too. It's not like he can't handle ensemble films, and it felt like
Mhm.
he couldn't handle an ensemble film in Suicide Squad. Also,
Right.
some of the stuff, like I don't know, taking out the entire village that was about to go help is like a funny little gag for a second, but that just is never sat right. Like
Right.
obviously
Mhm.
Peacemaker is Peacemaker, and he's not necessarily a great guy, and he's going to lead the whole team into doing something bad sometimes, but
Mhm.
slaughtering an entire innocent village just for a gag, I get it, but that is my thought process as well, Joey. That is what I felt whenever I saw that scene and that sequence. I was like, oh no, James Gunn, really? Like it felt like, okay, I got to add something funny in here. The studio wants something funny. The execs want something funny here, so I'm gonna do it here. It didn't
Mhm.
feel like it was the right thing for the story. It didn't feel like it was actually a good pivotal moment for the film. It didn't add anything. All it did was literally subtract from the film itself. Um, yeah, James Gunn is one of the most talented filmmakers working in Hollywood right now, in the world.
Mhm.
And I don't think he utilizes his own talent, even to a fifth of the degree he should be able to.
Right.
And I think it's both because he doesn't take himself seriously at all and
Mhm.
far too seriously at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where he's like and I think it's I know we've kind of compared to I'm not Taika Waititi, excuse me. That's who I'm about to compare to Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Taika is someone I think who is one of the best filmmakers in the entire world as well right now.
Mhm.
But again, kind of got too big for his britches, got too big for his shoes, And we, of course,
Right.
saw that with Thor 4. And then Next Goal Wins with Michael Fassbender wasn't even all that good. And that's coming up. Those two movies came off of course, Thor Ragnarok we all enjoyed, but Jojo Rabbit is one of the best movies. Maybe not that I've ever seen, but it is one of the most. It's a movie that's going to sit with me till I pass one day. You know, like shoot. And here's hoping that Superman proves me wrong. I would very much like to be proved. I'd very much like James Gunn to get back
me too.
Guardians, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, too much money involved. Kills creativity. That the comparison is the killer of joy or the thief of joy or whatever. I'm like, oh great, you know, here we are comparing.
Yeah, or if you get the committee or whatever, like, because now it's like, oh, so much money's at stake, we can't take risks or whatever, which I get it, but it's like at the same time, it's like you kind of have to do that sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine to do stuff that's maybe not risky and fun, and, you know, it's just a good, fun movie, you know, that you enjoy. That's fine, but, you know, you need to kind of do that risk-taking and do something, especially when you're talking about a Superman that's been done 10,000 times, 10,000 ways. Like, you gotta do something out there that's more riskier, or it's just, oh, another Superman movie, yay, you know? You know?
Yes, sorry. I saw my roommate leaving in the window. I just saw it kind of from different sides of the room. I was like, huh? Who are your sources, Joey? Ketchup and HP Brown sources. Oh God. Yeah. I'm with you. There's just something, you know, something there. If we can get a return to form, I'd be happy. And same thing for Taika. Same thing for Zack Snyder. Those three people, I feel like, are three that have been complained about a lot in the last few years. And rightfully so. There's a reason people are complaining. And I don't think them as filmmakers, hey, I want to work with all of y'all, so please don't, like, James Gunn, hire me for DC and, like, HBO, whatever, please. You know, I'd still love to leave that door open. I'm not trying to piss you off. But it'd just be nice to see that return to form and not feel like that death by committee, I guess, like you were just saying, is more prevalent than the actual care and desire. And I guess it's almost sometimes different with James Gunn, where he's like, hey, I care so much, I'm going to only do these small little characters and not really. The approach doesn't seem sound one way or another. And I'm not saying it's got the right approach or some crazy answer for it either, but it feels like sometimes the filmmakers have forgotten what they're doing, you know, and why they're doing it.
Right. Or they get so immersed in that world or whatever, they kind of forget what it is to be like everyday person or, you know, or outside of that, looking in and what you want to see as a, you know, you want to see creativity, you want to see originality, you want to see reality reflected, I guess, or whatever.
Hell, we literally live in our science fiction bubble around here, but nonetheless, we like the fiction, of course. But we like that basis in the real world that we can latch onto and like have that little fun thought or something like that to go on to. It just feels like Gunn movies, Snyder movies, even the most recent Taika Waititi movies, like Next Goal Wins was a movie about a soccer team, like a kid's soccer team essentially, or not a kid's soccer team. It was a not young adults, I guess. It was just a professional soccer team, but it was just, you know, like collegiate age kids, so on and so forth. It's a freaking soccer thing, and it still didn't necessarily feel rooted in reality. And it's not necessarily because of the things going on. It's not like some alien invasion was going on or anything, but it just the way they're talking to each other, the way things are going on, like it leaves like the niche, you know, where Taika has always probably had his niche of, hey, I'm from New Zealand. These people don't necessarily talk the way like the whole world is going to digest these things, you know, and it is going to be a little bit of a niche that not everybody's used to. And it's not like leaning into that, it's leaning into almost the characterization of that to some degree. And it almost feels like he's just making fun of New Zealand in Next Goal Wins. That's another little eye roll, whatever. I just really would like to return to form a little bit. It's not soccer, it's football.
Football.
But outside of all that, that was a tangent.
Yeah.
Do you feel like James Gunn, Taika, and Snyder, and I guess people that are in that, I guess, pedigree of filmmaking, do you think that maybe with the superhero craze dying down to a degree, and definitely the hardships that Hollywood go through.
Right.
There are hardships right now, but it always feels odd comparing hardships from Hollywood and LA to everyone else's hardships and their normal jobs. Hardships in Hollywood are not the same as coal mining hardships. No. Hardships in Hollywood are not the same as someone driving a boat down the canal or something like that, a tugboat pilot or something like that.
Yeah.
It always does make me roll my eyes when I'm like, oh, Hollywood, whatever. But do you think with just the landscape of the world right now that, hey, maybe we'll get back to some of these original things. Maybe to add a little bit on top of that question for you, like Minecraft and Sinners are the easy examples right now. Do you think we'll lean more into the Minecraft world of things, or do you think we're going to lean more into the Sinners world of things? Just looking forward. Because one of the guys we're talking about, the Horseman right here, is a CEO of one of the major 3 or 4 studios, Not CEO of the studios, but
I want it to be, I mean, I haven't seen Sinners, but I'm assuming you mean like a very well-written, produced movie, whatever.
Original, yeah.
I think the studios are, I hate to say, like more like the Minecraft route. I think there's going to always be both. But I think as long as movies like Minecraft make the money that they make, they're going to keep making movies like that. Until people vote with their dollars or whatever and say, no, it's stupid, we're not watching it. They'll probably keep doing that. But hopefully there will still be Sinners movies out there, I mean, I guess to say that maybe the Minecrafts of, the movie world kind of help finance the Sinners movies in a way, because then if the studios are making good money, then they're more willing to maybe spend money on some lesser known or, I don't know, riskier ideas.
Yeah. Do you, the thought process I'm having here? We also have a couple really good comments to go over. The Minecraft movie in particular is, I mean, obviously not the best thing in the world that we've ever seen, but it's almost, I feel like it at least got the continuous money I believe it's getting is because people are having a good time throwing popcorn around and being crazy.
Right, and it's kids.
But that initial weekend was still $300 million worldwide. That's just almost Minecraft itself.
Right. And part of me is just kind of like, I get it why kids would like the movie. I get that. Or if you're someone who's always is really into the game or whatever, you'd go see it because you'd want to see what they're going to do or whatever. But it's a movie, like, I'm never going to watch it. I don't think I could ever bring myself to watch it. Like, if I have to watch it, it's going to be like a Clockwork Orange thing, where they strap me to a chair with my eyes, like open, make me watch it. No.
Kids or teens for Minecraft, they just love the memes. But okay. With that same thought process, do you think
meme culture?
If the studio execs say, you know what, we're going to take the Minecraft lesson from this, not the Sinners lesson from this. Do you think they're going to lean into like the legitimate, awful, just like oh, dumb fun, whoop-de-doo, like give the kids the TikTok kind of version of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what that felt like, it doesn't have moments of sitting. There's nowhere in Minecraft where you get to sit with the characters for more than just a moment or two.
Right.
Yes, it has made close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
But do you think the lesson they're going to take away if they go the Minecraft lesson versus the Sinner's lesson, which hopefully they learn both, but if they just learn their Minecraft lesson, do you think it's going to be that dumb, zany, okay, dopamine, serotonin hit, like make sure we're getting the serotonin punches every 2 minutes, something like that? Or do you think they're going to say, hey, the only reason people went to see this movie in the first place, yes, we managed to create a meme. We managed to create that cultural zeitgeist around it. But the only reason people went here in the first place was because it was a Minecraft movie. Do you think, and they did that with Barbie kind of last year. It was Universal with Barbie, I guess. But do you think that, and in the studio, which has also been great, I know Monk, that's something we can agree upon, Monk, always. The studio is amazing. But literally, thank you for typing that. I'm just waiting for that Kool-Aid movie, another $1 billion movie. There's a joke in the studio TV show that, okay, well, now Seth Rogen's going to make or his studio executive is going to make a Kool-Aid movie. Do you think this is pushing us into, I guess, IP more? And not necessarily IP and like, I guess IP. That's just general intellectual property. Or
you think more like taking things that is like a Minecraft or other things that are known, like
because like Barbie, we had the Tetris movie. There was a BlackBerry movie.
If those have been successful, they will try to do that again, I think, which I'm not like thrilled about. But I'm an older adult, so maybe it's just but in one sense, it just kind of makes me sad that we're like kind of we've all, like you're talking about, the TikTok serotonin, like dopamine or whatever, like hit you get by watching. I even caught myself like on Instagram, like watching and like catching that's what's happening with my brain and being like, whoa, I gotta stop this and not make my brain, rewire my brain to be like that. It's just, no, that's not good. I don't want to be that. And it makes me sad that there's so many people that are wired, their brains are wired, kids or whatever, teenagers, their brains are all like wired like that now. And it kind of makes me sad that that's being then catered to. And we're just going to go more and more down that road. And it's like, idiocracy or whatever you want to say, but even worse than idiocracy, really,
Yeah. Well, because it's, it is idiocracy in a way. I guess idiocracy just wasn't ready for the smartphone yet. That's the one thing they kind of forgot.
Exactly.
Because the same way people are just glued to their TV, sitting there like almost Wall-E, where they're just getting their little straws and whatever. It's
floating around in, all overweight and floaty chairs. Like Rigel.
Rigel. Around, like I can't afford any more of that, like there's I guess a good concept that's been going around the last few years about dopamine fasting, and I think that's honestly a really good thing. Hard to do whenever we talk about all this crazy stuff so often.
Well, you're starting to hear that with young people too. I mean, they're talking about, these schools that are now making kids lock up their phones when they're at school. There's a lot of kids now that are like, oh, I kind of like this. They're kind of liking being forced to take a break. And it's like, and teachers are like, oh, kids are actually like talking to each other during lunch instead of sitting there staring at phones. It's like everybody's just sitting there like with an invisible chain or whatever, like we're all enslaved to our phones. And I hate that.
It's so much. And I know we kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago, but the Ted Sarandos, like, oh, my kid watches Lawrence of Arabia. I keep missing the movie. Lawrence of Arabia on his cell phone, and he loves it. I'm like, well, you better love the movie, but on a cell phone, like, just, come on. This is when you
watch an IMAX or something.
or go home, and that's when, hey, you got a couple buddies that you've been talking to at school. Hey, there's this really cool movie that I watched that I think y'all would like. Come watch it with me, or something like that. Instead of, hey, hey, if we're across the globe here, you're in
Mhm.
Washington there, and we have UK buddies we're talking to
Mhm.
all the time. Like that's
Yeah.
one thing, you know. Like, hey, we're all different parts of the world. Here, let's have a Zoom
Mhm.
call. Let's hang out. Let's
Yeah.
talk some fun sci-fi, so on and so forth. But
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
the lack of willingness or even the want, I feel like, to go hang out from, I almost said the youth of today, and I'm 26. I'm
Yeah.
not, I can't,
Yeah.
I feel very old just saying these things. But like, it's
No, it's smart
so,
that you're seeing it already. You know what I mean? I think that's good.
well, I mean, everybody my age, I guess, is, I'm so
Mhm.
glad and grateful I've never downloaded TikTok. I guess
Mhm.
I've
No,
downloaded
I
it, just
have.
never like
Yeah.
made an account and really ever stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my roommate and I were laughing because we watched the first episode of Murderbot, and then our other roommate came back, and we were going to put together these barn doors in our new place and figuring it all out, little projects,
Mhm.
Um, he was on TikTok, and I guess I just didn't realize I was just hearing things, and there was like 4 or 5 very, very different things. Something was funny, something was sad, something was like inspirational, something was like
Right.
funny, but like in a dark comedy way, and then like something
Right.
else popped in.
Mhm.
I just looked over, I was like, those were 5 very different things. And he goes, TikTok. And he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh wait, I don't know if that's a good thing. Like right after he said that too, you kind of thought about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You just get it. It's and like I've heard like TikTok's algorithm is just like insidious. Like they know they have their algorithm like really dialed in to keep you scrolling.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm terrified that our TV shows and our movies are going to end up more and more like that too. And
Mhm.
Minecraft is going to be
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
I hope the lesson, because I guess to rope that little circle back in, the if their lesson is, hey, we want these franchises, they still have the opportunity to make good movies out of the IP. Like there's still a good movie within Minecraft. Just
Mhm.
the movie that's there. You move a couple things around and you actually let things
Right.
have weight. There's a
Yeah.
decent movie there, or at
Mhm.
least something that could be. You have enough
Right.
talented people on board, cast, crew, et
Right.
cetera, where that could have been.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but then the precursor to that, the two things, my brain goes to two different forks in that way, 2 forks in the road there.
Yeah.
Where one is, what's the Borderlands? Borderlands is another big IP that they've been trying to make for a while.
Mhm.
And they definitely went the TikTokification, like, hey, get the serotonin hits in there.
Mhm.
And look how that happened. But also, hey, what is also another big giant IP that has been done in recent memory that had made a lot of money and is
Mhm.
probably going to continue to make money if ever re-released and so on and so forth is the Barbie movie. And that is a movie that decided to take
Mhm.
itself seriously and decided to
Right.
actually do something better.
Yeah.
I hope they lean to that. I hope they take that lesson and say, hey, we have the three big IPs in recent memory that have been put forth: Minecraft, Borderlands, Barbie.
Mhm.
Minecraft and Borderlands are more akin plot structure wise, sort, not necessarily, I guess, but like the way they were structured and from a filmmaking process, those two are closer. Where on this
Mhm.
end, the two, Barbie and Minecraft, are closer monetarily wise. Um, Borderlands had a lot of production issues. Minecraft went through 13 years of production issues, and Barbie had, we almost had an Amy Schumer Barbie. It had a huge production issues. All these big IPs
Right.
tend to, and
Mhm.
part of that's going to be, hey, you're working with Mattel, or hey, you're working with giant like Borderlands. I don't know the parent gaming company or anything like that, but so on and so forth. I don't know the
Mhm.
Minecraft gaming parent company either.
Yeah, I've heard it, but I can't think.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
it's a lot of those kind of things. I just don't know if they're going to take the right lesson from it. I don't know if that is the right
Mhm.
lesson to take from it. Is like, take yourself more seriously or not either. Because
Mhm.
guess what we were talking about 20 minutes ago is, hey, James Gunn, hey, Taika, and hi, Snyder. Maybe don't
Mhm.
take yourselves that seriously. Like, where's our happy medium, and then where does it actually unfold well for us? As the audience, as the viewers.
They're actually Microsoft. It says when I looked up what it says the parent company is. I said, "What's Minecraft's parent company?" Microsoft.
Wow. Oh, Monk brought up a good point too. Forgetting other franchises that were made that have been successes. Last of Us is no longer a success, though. It is dropped off so much. All you had to do was spoilers. I still haven't seen it, but take out, remove. There's a character that may or may not be in the series any longer. Who knows how that happens?
Right.
You can guess if the series is titled The Last of Us, though. It's immediately it's tanked. I think that's another example of the IP thing where it's almost that's almost even more of an oxymoron in a sense, because they take themselves too seriously. I think Last of Us decided. I think they have the issue where we've talked about where hey, you're a zombie show.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, but do some zombie shit. Come on. I love the I forget his name, but the Nick Offerman and the other guy episode where they go into this beautiful episode. These two guys that are living and find love throughout the end of the apocalypse.
Right.
What the hell does that have to do with the main story at hand?
It wasn't part of the main story, but I did like that episode.
It's gorgeous.
It felt it didn't feel like it was a forced, we're going to bring these issues on screen. It didn't feel forced. It felt like this could be but again, it was like this little separate story that they kind of inserted in there that didn't really fit, but I liked it still. But
I would have loved that as like an individual short episode or like a bonus episode that they would have released before the series as kind of a, hey, this is the quality of what you're going to get. This is what we're going to bring for you. And I guess it didn't get that. It didn't really get that. It failed in the game and now it failed on TV. Oh, wow. Last of Us is Rider Revenge at this point. He's out to get the audience and make them miserable. I hope not, because I like Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin. There we are. I was like, hold up, I know it. The story for Last of Us is Revenge one. The show is about people as well. The only problem is they butchered the story in the show. That's just what it feels like. Monk also pointed out another one, Harris, is Fallout. I think Fallout is our best example of everything so far. Fallout and Barbie are prime directives in a way. But yeah, I don't know what lessons all these different studios are going to take from it. Minecraft, if that is a Microsoft project, that is interesting because Bethesda is now owned by Microsoft and Fallout is technically a Microsoft product now. It's more Bethesda Game Studios, like BGS actually talking to the crew and Todd Howard talking to people and stuff. But yeah, life's too short to watch things that make you sad. Not necessarily, because if you watch something that makes you sad, stop watching the news. Now yes. Screw that 24/7 news cycle. Like you don't need that. Read
Newsotainment.
Yeah. Life is too short. This though, movies that make you sad remind you of what the things in life that are worth being grateful and happy about are, and that's why like those I believe are okay. But watching the news where it's like fear mongering.
Yeah, I mean you gotta be aware of what's going on in the world, but just
there are articles for that. Like
everything with a grain of salt, I guess, or whatever. Just taken from different angles to kind of get really what the picture is.
That as Joey did also just add a little fun thing in there. If aliens were awaiting watching all of our zombie movies, TVs, and podcasts, they would conclude half our population were habitual zombies. Not far from the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's that. I guess everyone we're dopamine and serotonin zombies. I guess to bring it back to that one.
Yeah. No, I'm
Also,
trying to keep myself aware of that to not be one of the people.
The last David was saying last of those episodes Sarah talked about with the two blokes. If so, that was the worst episode in season 1 by a country mile.
Yeah,
I agree with you, and not because it was a bad episode. I think it was again a beautiful, wonderfully made episode, wonderfully acted.
Oh yeah, yep, it was.
It was the season before that episode, the season after that episode.
Right.
It was there, you know.
Yeah, it was just let's just step back from the main storyline and tell this little story over here, and then we'll come back. So
in a 24 episode season, 22 episode season,
yeah,
all day, give me that. Do it, please.
Yeah.
In an 8 episode series.
Yeah, and I guess when I watched it, I thought somehow that was going to play into what the main story was, that it wasn't just like the separate, I kind of didn't realize it was a separate thing until I was like, oh, that was just a one-off thing. Okay.
Like the end of the episode, I guess, spoiler alert, but 2 or 3 years ago at this point, I think most of us watched Last of Us season 1 at least.
Yeah.
At the end, I was so angry. I was like, I wanted these guys to live or do something. Like,
right. Or at least the one guy would live, because the other guy got ALS or something. Anyway, something, but there's no way to treat it, obviously. So. Which
is such a good, heartfelt story to tell. But again, that's not. If you have 8 episodes, you have 8 episodes.
It would have almost been interesting, maybe if one of them got infected or something like that. I don't know. I guess we've seen that 100 times. The person you love gets infected and then you have to kill them or whatever. And boohoo. But I don't know. Or something along those lines, maybe find a more interesting way to do it. I don't know, keeps them alive or something. And then so you can turn them around or who knows, Anyway, that's not real original, but whatever.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Yeah.
Monk just pointed out Rotten Tomatoes has Last of Us season 2 at 95% right now. Haven't seen it, but I do find that interesting. What's the user score? What is the Metacritic and the user score on that one?
Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, well, yeah, let's, I guess, look at it real quick. Last of Us season 2. 8.6 on IMDb so far. Or maybe that's just the trailer. Let me look for Metacritic real quick. Ooh. Based on 42 critic reviews. Here, let me share this so we can actually see this Metacritic real quick. Based on, can y'all see that fine?
Yep.
I'm gonna pause that just in case we get copyright.
Yeah.
Right here, universal acclaim based on 42 critic reviews, 81% on Metacritic. User score based on 586 user ratings is 4.1 for Last of Us season 2. That is a drop and a half, if I just say so. Because let's look up season 1. Yeah.
Yep.
Same thing, critic wise. But
critics went up a couple points actually, and then but it's gone down 2 points for users.
It's just so interesting. Well, yeah, I don't know about the politics being added within everything, but Well, I mean, obviously there's politics added within like writing of the show and stuff like that. But I don't know about them specifying stuff. But yeah, critics.
Yeah.
Because I guess outside of Murderbot right now, Last of Us is the other big sci-fi thing that's currently airing.
Yeah.
I've never had less of a desire to watch a show.
I'll make myself watch it just because I feel like, I should see it to talk about it.
Yeah, it might be one by that like last week. I'll do the binge. I hate watching shows like that. It's like hurts my soul because I like to watch it week by week and obviously talk about everything and so on and so forth. But that might be a binger. That might be a binger there.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to go here in a little bit. Well,
we're about an hour and a half into it.
Yeah,
we spent a good half an hour on Murderbot and been hanging since. What I said, obviously Murderbot, and we have not discussed Andor. We both need to finish Andor still. You said you had 3 episodes left, Sarah?
Yeah, I have to watch the final 3. I would have watched them this week, but my husband was out of town. I want to watch it with him, so
nice.
I held off.
I've got 6 left too. Oops. Next Sunday we got this. Don't punish yourself. Life will go on.
Oh, we're doing our Farscape tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Farscape. I was reading the Sarah Michelle Gellar stuff anyway. I don't think she's done a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, well, I guess what else have you watched this week? Obviously Murderbot and Farscape we both watched, but particular or fun?
What else have I watched? Oh my God, I'm like drawing a blank.
All by yourself for the past week too.
You
can watch anything and everything,
Yeah, I've been watching like just YouTube videos about just different things I'm interested in. And of course, the Stanley Cup playoffs are going on, and my Winnipeg Jets lost to Dallas last night, so they're out.
Oh no.
I know. So the Western Conference final is going to be Edmonton Oilers and Dallas Stars.
Oh.
So Eastern Conference is Carolina Hurricanes, and we'll find out tonight if it'll be the Florida Panthers or Toronto Blue Jays. Maple Leafs.
Okay. Oh, really? Aren't the Maple Leafs always like historically bad?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go Maple Leafs in that sense then. But go Dallas as well. Sorry. Oh, she did that god awful Wolfpack TV series. She was in that Robin Williams series before he passed. Oh wow. Avoid the old style Hollywood buffet at all cost. That's all funny. But yeah, there's no other like a Canada versus Canada finals is still possible. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's been 3 years since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup, so that's why I'm kind of rooting for a Canadian team, because it's like it'd be nice for them to get a cup again after it's been a minute.
Cup, right? Technically, it's
originally, cup, right? Hockey's originally a Canadian thing, but yeah.
Oh wow.
But
that's what. I guess outside of that, you watched anything else? Any good movies slip through or anything like that?
Not really. Oh, I started watching Continuum. I never watched that sci-fi series. I never watched it. So I started a couple episodes into that. I kind of gave up on Sanctuary because I like it, but it's just a little too cheesy for me.
Sanctuary is
that's that one with Amanda Tapping.
Okay.
Yeah. I might go back to it. I'm just kind of taking a break from that for a while. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep. Been a long time.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna go for the Texas team as I'm wearing a Texans jersey.
Well, Dallas hasn't. They won the cup in '99, I think, the last time. So it's been a while. Oh yeah, they won the cup the year you were born. So
They got to be my hockey team now.
Yeah. So.
Todd's in Sanctuary.
Yep, he is.
That's fun. I know mentioned it, but like a long time ago, we had a minor hockey team growing up, or in my hometown when I was growing up, that eventually sold off and went somewhere. But those were so much fun. That's like the only hockey I've ever really had outside of like a street hockey, but it's so much fun. Y'all were making me thinking about it, especially with you and Jay talking about all the hockey all the time. There's right next to the old house, literally a block and a half away, there's an ice skating rink. And I'm just kind of, as I've been moving things, just driving back and forth, I just makes me want to go in there one day. Lived here for 5 years in this one spot, and I still haven't ever gone in. Oops. Yes, all these things. But yeah, I like hockey. I'd like to actually start watching sports worth watching again, because football doesn't do it for me. And honestly, Ted Lasso makes me want to watch some men's soccer, but men's soccer is also usually so boring at the same time. Like, the women's soccer I'll watch because they'll get nitty gritty. They'll punch and pull and kick and fight, which is it's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining. And I feel like, especially men's basketball and men's soccer nowadays are the most BS sports possible because, I got a foul. Make sure I get a free throw, or make sure I get a free kick or penalty kick, whatever,
Yeah. That's what I like about hockey. They'll like punch each other, go get stitches, come back out and play.
It's Coliseum rules. I like the Coliseum rules.
Yeah.
Oops. I have been calling it football more. I'm one of our buddies that is moving into our new place, which is so great so far, Juliet. We're actually having like our first little housewarming later today and having some people over to be fun.
Jump in the pool.
Speaking of, I need to turn that heater on. Which, oh my God, we were so happy the other day. Little small tangent. We'll get off it quick so we can hop out of here. But we figured out we have solar panels on the roof, which the leasing agent that showed us the place did not tell us. And I guess we didn't take the time to look at the roof because usually, I guess, if you're looking for solar panels, someone will tell you,
Yeah. Wasn't there controls or something somewhere?
There are, and that's when we noticed. We were like, what? So I'm very happy that we have solar panels. That hopefully will help a lot. And for heating the pool, hopefully we'll offset a couple dollars there, which would be nice,
Yeah.
But they're loving it. They're loving it. I'm very excited to set up this office in the coming week. I finally have like the electronics kind of moved over here, and then we'll set up and be all fancy.
Cool.
And then whenever we're all Comic-Conning and being able to do crazy things, we'll have like an actual like cool section to be hanging out with, hanging out in. But hey, I don't think I know I'll get off on a tangent, but I don't think I watched anything outside of what we've already talked about. Besides the studio, of course, Monk, which is also still great. But yeah, I think that's it. Any other?
Well, I think that's it. We'll be here for Farscape Tran tomorrow, and there's no Outpost this week. And I don't know, are you and Greg going to try to make up your Fallout?
Yes, we very much are.
Yeah.
That for a second was me forgetting housekeeping, and I was about to go right back to laundry list. But for housekeeping for the week, y'all come hang out tomorrow. For Farscape Trion. We'll do that 10:15, 10:30. Normal.
Yeah.
I would have bugged you about it. Of course. And then I guess no Outpost this Wednesday. I'd still love to do a Thunderbolts thing. There's just so much going on, and I feel like everybody's worlds right now. It's just kind of hard to tie everybody down, but we can. That would be very fun to talk about. And then Radical Wasteland podcast this coming Friday to make up for last Friday. So you're going to have 2 in a row these coming 2 weeks. And we've sent a nice email or two to the folks over at the Good Spring Saloon, and it seems like we may be on. Not 100% yet, but we should be on for an interview with them. Hopefully 2 episodes away.
All right.
But if not, probably 3. But we still have so much to talk about this coming week. Fallout season 2, season 3, season 6, all the way up to we got stuff to discuss.
Right.
Yeah, this could be fun.
Yep.
But first, hop on that Patreon and come hang out with Sarah and I tomorrow. You know,
Mm-hmm.
We'll be hanging.
Yep. We just chill. Great show.
It is really good.
It's zany, it's wacky, it's sciencey.
I may have 2 people sitting with us watching it tomorrow. We'll see if we get. I'll probably angle it right here, so it's just us watching. Yeah. But we might have the roommate and a buddy that's helping us move stuff, because right after we're off stream tomorrow, it is a U-Haul kind of day, and we're finishing the move. It is done.
Sounds like fun.
All the ninja robot moves. That is me setting it in stone right there. Chop suey pseudoscience.
Yep.
Oh, Monk saw RoboCop for the first time yesterday. That was interesting. 2014 RoboCop or OG RoboCop?
OG RoboCop? I like OG RoboCop. It's very of its time, but I like it. I grew up in Michigan, and it's in Detroit. Future Detroit.
Hey. Do you have a soft spot for the 2014 RoboCop? Just because it's Joel Kinnaman, or?
Well, I like anything with Joel Kinnaman in it is great, but
such a good actor.
Mm-hmm. So I liked his kind of portrayal, but the movie didn't. I think I expected it to be a little bit more of a retelling of like a reimagining, a modernized version of sort of the original movie, and it really wasn't that. I mean, to a point, but I don't know. It was all right, but I like the original better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Ronnie Cox would win because he said he saw the OG. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman's great. That movie just ends up being kind of iffy, like in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, a fly has entered the house, and I have an attack cat.
Mm-hmm.
$6 Million Man, RoboCop. Who says all ambulatory movies are ableist? I was like, huh? Oh, there we go. Yeah. I guess that's kind of it.
I was thinking, like this year, if we wanted to ever do any like movie watch party things, is that it's the 50th anniversary this year of Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Jaws.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We're gonna call Monty Python a science fiction movie. When Sir is it Sir Galahad is walking around trying to not Galahad, Sir blue one with the has to put his because he's looking for the duck or whatever. Is she a duck or is she a witch? He's like whatever it is, like he does some sciencey things, they do some very, very important
It
science.
Is fantasy. We put it in fantasy category,
Science
the part with the rabbits always kills me.
The holy hand grenade. My back in the day. It's I was probably 10, 11, 12. My dad and like 2 or 3 or 4 of our friends' dads all got together and said, "Oh yeah, we need to do a Monty Python day." And they got me and all of our little like friend group back in the day together, and all our dads just sat us down and just pressed play. And I don't think I've ever laughed. The only time I think I've laughed harder than that in my entire life was the first time I ever saw The Great Outdoors. Do you remember The Great Outdoors?
I did see it probably when it came out in the theater. I think I saw it. It's been a very long time, so I don't remember.
John Candy, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I remember John Candy being in it. But, yeah.
There's a bald-headed bear that was like shot, at some point because it was trying to like attack people,
Kind of
and
vaguely remember this.
it's got that bald head because it was skinned right there.
Yeah,
And
very
at
like
some point in the
cartoon-like.
movie, it may or may not have something similar happen to it on its rear side, and I think that was the first time I ever cried. I don't know if I'll ever laugh harder than that in my entire life. That's a core memory of being a child right there. It's so good. Spam-A-Lot though, in my voice acting class on Friday, we were just talking about stuff. Like I was jamming to an Across the Universe song that came on, and just maybe the song Across the Universe, and it made me think of like the musical, and I was like, you know what, that's probably my favorite musical. And we were talking about that in that voice acting class, just for like the acting purposes and stuff. And one of the girls in class was like, what would you put as like your top 5 in there? And so I was thinking about it like, in the chat, probably while we should have been paying attention to everything that was being said in the class.
Right.
Talked about like top 5, and Spam-A-Lot is in my top, I think, 3 or 4.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's great. Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot. It's quite excellent. Quite excellent.
Anyway, I got to get out of here. So
yes, let's call it. That was a couple tangents.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging, and thank y'all for being here.
Right.
We will see y'all for Patreon
tomorrow.
But in the meantime, this has been Sci-Fi Sundays. And adios.